Now let's talk about TikTok. It's the world's fastest growing social media platform, also perhaps the most banned now. It has suffered two fresh blows. Within 24 hours, both the UK and New Zealand have banned TikTok. In the UK, it's banned from all government-owned devices effective immediately. Now, this is in line with other Western bans. The US, Canada, the European Union also banned the same platform. As for New Zealand, its ban will begin from the 31st of March. But it's only for about 500 people in New Zealand's parliamentary complex. The others can use the platform for now, the app. Reports say government agencies could later announce a full ban. And TikTok's problems are not just limited to government devices. The US has issued an ultimatum. Chinese companies need to sell their share in TikTok. If they don't, the platform faces a total ban in the US. So why has TikTok ruffled so many feathers? Let's start by looking at what the UK said to justify the ban.
We take the security of government devices very seriously, and we are constantly working to ensure that those devices remain as safe and secure as possible. And so, as part of that effort, I recently commissioned a review by our cybersecurity experts to assess the risks posed by certain third-party apps on government devices, and in particular, the installation and use of TikTok.
New Zealand's new Prime Minister, Chris Hipkins, explained his country's stance.
Our system works slightly differently to other countries. Departments and agencies follow the advice take advice from the GCSB in terms of their IT and their cybersecurity policies. And we don't have a blanket across the public sector approach to this, which happens in other areas. And so I'd expect that departments and agencies, including the Parliament, would consider the advice of the GCSB in making those decisions.
This is what the White House said yesterday about a potential blanket ban on TikTok.
So, look, we've expressed concerns over China's potential use of software platforms that could endanger or threaten America's safety and their national security. So that is the president's concern. That is why we have called on Congress to take action. We see a bipartisan piece of legislation that that we are supporting. It's called the Restrict Act, as you all know and been covering. And so that's the president's main priority, to make sure when it comes to their safety, when it comes to their security, when it comes to our national security, that those things are protected. And so that has been the president's focus over the last couple of years.
So why are these countries citing national security concerns when banning it? You see, TikTok is owned by the Chinese company ByteDance. ByteDance is headquartered in Beijing, which means it has to follow Chinese law. And that means the Chinese government can access all the data TikTok collects. This is due to a law that was passed in China in 2017. It obligates Chinese firms to hand over personal data if Beijing demands it. Of course, TikTok says it hasn't happened yet. It also claims to be doing its best to protect user data. TikTok says it has spent over $1.5 billion on data security. It has also moved some user data out of China, but that's not helping. Now, Beijing has come to its defense. It is slamming the bans and is especially critical of the US.
We
have always maintained that the issue of data security should not become a tool for certain countries to generalize the concept of national security, abuse national power, and unreasonably suppress enterprises in other countries. The US side has so far failed to produce evidence that TikTok threatens US national security.
But many still aren't convinced. The UK and New Zealand joined the growing list of those banning TikTok. The first, of course, was India. New Delhi banned the platform after China tried to invade Indian territory in 2020. Then, as we mentioned, there are the government device bans imposed by the US, Canada, and EU bodies. Belgium also announced a government ban just last week. Taiwan, too, has banned TikTok. Taipei says China is using the app to wage disinformation campaigns in the island. And then there's a slightly unlikely nation to have banned this app. Taliban ruled Afghanistan, but their reason is quite different. They say the app is leading Afghan youths astray. So for one reason or another, TikTok is facing more scrutiny and more bans, and no amount of PR is helping.